Hey, how we going? So, I was having a look on my shelves and I was wondering what my smallest tabletop role playing game was. Meaning, smallest number of pages. It can be tricky when these games get published in different sizes to work it out, but I think this one meets the criteria at about 14 pages. This is Dead Friend, a game of necromancy by Lucian Khan. I was really drawn to the concept of this one, and I've really enjoyed another game by this creator, Visigoths vs. Morgoths. Review link will be posted down below. So I thought we could check out this one together. Dead Friend takes place over the course of a summoning ritual. As the name suggests, it's a summoning ritual where someone is summoning a friend back from the dead. Who exactly is participating or being summoned is actually up to the player's discretion and what kind of story they want to tell. It also will be affected by how the ritual unfolds and the decisions players make. Really, this is a game about motives, memories, and friendships, whether they are intact or gone sour. Players get to choose the time and setting that they are performing the ritual, and what time in their lives or what time in history or the universe this friendship occurred. Unlike a lot of other games I've talked about here, this is actually only a two-player game. I think this could be a great option for just a one-on-one session where no one really feels like running a game. As well as being a GM-less game, this game also has no dice. I think considering our current global circumstances and not being able to meet in large groups, this could be a great little option to play with someone you live with, even if perhaps they're not totally familiar with tabletop role-playing games. To play this game, you need your materials of resurrection. These are a copy of a magic circle included, a copy of the spellbook for each player, one tarot deck or one standard deck separated into its suits, a large coin called the circle coin, a smaller coin called the star coin, some writing materials, and optional, but I think are really great for flavour, 2 matches and some salt. When a game doesn't include dice, I know it raises the question of how does this make it a game, as dice are pretty integral to many gaming experiences. This one definitely qualifies as there is a very definite structure. There are stages that you play through in this game, and you perform rituals to get to each stage. It's not just free-form riffing, there's a structure that the players are intended to follow. The 4 stages of this game are Earth, Water, Fire, and Air. These different stages are the stages of the summoning ritual, but these generally flash between the summoner and the dead person, and goes to fill in the story of these people. You also get to pick from about 4 prompts that will generally dictate the mood of the game. These prompts provide a lot of inspiration, while I think being vague enough that there's opportunity to replay this game with a lot of different people and different stories. The ones that they recommend starting with are the Magician and the Tower. These 4 modes go into describing the motivation for the 2 players. For example, in the Tower, the living person wishes to say a final goodbye to their dead friend. Meanwhile, the dead wishes to return to the world of the living and cause chaos. All of these prompts have conflicting motivations, which I think will provide a lot of great roleplay and drama opportunities within the game. Then, once you've chosen your prompt, the game will guide you through the 4 summoning ritual stages. In between these stages, the players go back and forth with each other to describe the history between these 2 people, and perhaps the conflicts and the triumphs they've shared together. These rituals include doing things like making hand gestures and drawing cards. Not only does this give structure to the role-playing, but the cards you draw will be prompts for different moods and scenes that you might roleplay with the other person. Something I really like about this publication is it talks about that when someone draws a card for a prompt, they might not have an idea of what they would like to do straight away. Rather than encouraging you to jump in or make suggestions, the game wants you to just enjoy the silence together and let it hang there. It can be pretty tricky in games where we feel compelled to always be moving forward to make space for silence. Whereas in this game, they've written it in, giving people who might need a moment to think an opportunity to come up with ideas rather than being swept away by the rest of the group, while giving the person who's often full of ideas an opportunity to sit back and just enjoy the moment. This game takes place mostly in flashbacks to the past and the present. The two characters only meet in the present of the summoning ritual in the fire stage. In this stage, their conflicting motivations come to light and they challenge each other. Then, in the final stage, the dead and the living will probably be fighting each other. They do this battle by flipping cards from the deck. When each person has used 3 weapons, the battle is over. And then it's up to the summoner and the dead to decide who won out. Thematically, what makes the most sense, or what perhaps would be the most cathartic and satisfactory for this story. Then, finally, the defeated party is asked to answer the question of what is next in store for these friends? What has this summoning ritual done to change things? This game is only about 14 pages long, and for such a short little game, it gets a fair amount of content in there. This is definitely a one-session game with a lot of replayability for new characters and new situations with new or familiar prompts. The art of this book is rather minimal apart from the front page. I really do enjoy the choice to just print things in black and white with a little hints of red on glossy paper. I also am particularly fond of these headers. They sort of remind me of early modern book printing practices. You get detailed descriptions for each stage of each ritual with directions and diagrams, so it's really easy to follow along and play this game. I paid $20 for this game, and I think for what it is, that was absolutely a great asking price. I will say it has won a few awards in game design, and I do think that is well warranted. Having checked out another game from this author, I definitely want to see what else they're going to produce. This is a game about 2 people who are in conflict in some way or have unfinished business with each other. You absolutely can keep it surface level, but I think it's a game that's enriched by a little bit of a heart-to-heart. In future, I really hope I can get more games by this author in Australia. It's actually really difficult in Australia to get tabletop role-playing games imported. There's a tax on books that get imported here, which tends to hike up the price, and our current global circumstances have made international shipping both expensive and much more time consuming. Anyway, a bit of a tangent, that was Dead Friend. If you know any other small game creators that have created a few games that you want to link me to, please let me know. I think this little zine-sized one was incredibly charming, and I look forward to reviewing more games like it. And I hope to see you there when I do, at the gaming table. Bye!